Okay, so I'm not gonna lie, I just came out of the shower, and while I was in the shower, I was singing and also was thinking, right, about Nikke. And I was thinking about how yesterday, if you do not know, they posted the tweet about the first purchase gift reset, and how because they're doing this, it's probably gonna be a crazy character dropping for New Year's, right? And it made me wonder how we already have a lot of good characters in this game, right? We already have a boatload of good characters in this game. And the problem that I have, at least right now, is the simple fact that we don't necessarily need more good characters, right? As of right now. And I'm not saying do not give us a good character. If you just heard that, then I don't know what to tell you. But we don't need more good characters because there's nothing for them to like challenge, essentially. That's what I'm saying. So I feel like Shift Up needs to not necessarily add new content, but actually add something different, right? Because Nikke already said that, Shift Up already said that they were going to add more content. And the thing is, I don't want them adding content where it's like, okay, it's a new game mode name, but you're still just using the meta team, which is literally Red Hood, any other burst 3, a burst 1, 2, and a burst 1 and 2 unit, and then you're good to go, right? I don't want it like that. And I kind of came up with an idea in the shower. But before we do get into that, a word from today's sponsor. Hey, you already know Zxous is back with the sponsor. Thank you again, Zxous, for the sponsor. The challenges for the sponsor, they would definitely like you guys to get them to 300 subscribers. They do general content over there, and it's funny as hell. So if you want to go take a look and give it a try to see if you like it or not, go ahead to subscribe and check out Zxous on TikTok, Twitch, and YouTube, all of that platforms. If you have those, go ahead and follow Zxous there. And again, thank you, Zxous, for the sponsorship. Back to the video. But yeah, I was thinking about it, and this is honestly what I feel like would be the best new content. Like, there's two ways to go about it, right? I'm gonna actually remove my webcam so you can see the characters, right? So one, as you guys already know, what I would like them to add is Element Tower. And then two, the other one I came up with is something equivalent to Element Tower, but it's like a weapon tower. The reason why I say weapon or element tower as new content is because it will actually introduce different teams, right? For example, if I have element tower for wind, the wind element, crazy characters on that team like Blanc and Noir, right? You have crazy characters like Blanc and Noir, you have Dolly, but you don't have that many good burst 3 options, right? So you can see how there's gonna be actually a different comp there, because although you do have Blanc and Noir, you don't have that many great burst 3 options. You have D as a burst 3 option, Ipeno as a burst 3 option, and Kiri as a burst 3 option on top of already being paired up with Noir, right? So you don't have that many good burst 3 options, and the point of this team is to have Blanc and Noir and then probably Volume help the burst 3s actually do damage to progress in the content, right? And that thing goes the same for every type, right? For water, now they have Ludmilla as their DPS, and now they have Dorothy as their main burst 1, but for their burst 2 options, they don't have that many options, right? They have Makima, which is a collab character. They have, you know, Arya, who's on a 20-second cooldown. They have Polly, who's on a 20-second cooldown. If you want to run both of them, you can only run 1 burst 1 character, 2 burst 3 characters, and then 2 burst 2 characters, right? But by having Element Tower, besides I guess the Iron, because they're just ridiculous, they have Litter, Tia, Soline, everybody that's an SSR for Iron is good, besides I would say Freema and Julia, right? I would say everybody here has a use somewhat, right? Besides those two. Maybe Jackal does have a, oh no, Jackal does have a use, but Julia, maybe not. But you know, you would have to build a team regarding only these characters. Same thing goes for Fire, same thing goes for Electric. But if you look at the weapons only, it actually applies as well. If we go to AR only, it's much more different, because now you don't have just, you know, the characters who are very good under one like code. So for ARs, you have Blanc, you have Scarlet 2B, Snow White, but then you have Dorothy as well. Like, maybe AR is gonna be fine, but when you look at the burst 2s for AR, you still want to have a burst 1, burst 2, and burst 3 team, right? For the burst 2s, you have only Sin as an option, you have Helm as an option, and then that's it, right? And Rupee as well, I guess. You're not gonna run Blanc because she's on a 60-second cooldown. You're probably not going to run Folkwen because she's on a 40-second cooldown. You only have these limited characters, right? And again, if you don't own these characters specifically, it's going to be harder for you. And that's where I think the challenge actually comes in with an idea like this, with the difficult content. That's what I think. I think by having a weapon or element type tower, more weapon than element, you're going to have actual challenge, or you're going to have an actual challenge to beat this, right? Or an actual challenge to get through this, right? You're not just going to slap Red Hood, Scarlet, Litter, and whoever on the team, and then put them against the quote-unquote new content and then just beat it like it was nothing before, right? By having a weapon type tower or element type tower, I'm forced to bring a new team. If you look at machine guns, right? You have Modernia, you have Lamilla, you have Guillotine, sure. But then for your burst 1 option, you literally have to pick between Emma, Rosanna, or Soda. The thing is, both Rosanna and Emma are 40-second cooldown. So if you are going to run them, you forcefully have to bring both of the two. But if you're not going to run them, you have to bring Soda, right? And you're probably not going to have every single character in the game. And again, this is where the challenge comes in. But you see how the team is going to be worked, right? So if I don't want to bring Rosanna and Emma, I'm forced to bring Soda. And then I have to pick between, literally, I have to pick Diesel because Arya's on a 40-second cooldown, unless I decide to bring 1 burst 1, 2 burst 2 units, and then 2 burst 3 units, right? So this is where the challenge comes into play, at least in my eyes. And let me know in the comments down below. Same thing goes for Rocket Launcher, right? You have good characters here, but then again, like your burst 3 options are not that crazy. I mean, you have Power, you have A2, those are collab characters. I'm not going to expect everybody to have them, but then you have Kiri, who's a good healer, but then you have Laplace, who's a good DPS for burst 3. But then it's like, do you see how the team is so wonky? A lot of these characters are 60 or 40-second cooldown characters, right? 40-second, 60-second, 40-second, where is it? 20-second, 20-second, 40 seconds, right? For the burst 2, you got a lot more 40 seconds. And then even the burst 1 options are not that crazy. The burst 1 options are not that crazy. So this is where the unique of team building, or I guess the knowledge and unique of team building comes into play. Shotgun team is probably already set because that's already a thing, right? But the thing is, you can't run them with Tove because Tove is an AR. So that's where it becomes more and more unique. But again, it's already unique, right? You have, what's her name? Ether and Nagi, you can run as a combo with another burst 1. Like, the shotgun's already good, right? So they're probably gonna have that one weapon and that one code. Again, in the code's case, it's gonna be iron. In the weapon case, it's probably gonna be shotgun, where it's just gonna be the easiest one to use because they already are stacked with synergy, right? They already have synergies and stuff like that on the team, right? But again, it would be a tower, so you would have different, I don't know how many times I said the word again, but you would have different towers. And then when it comes to SMG tower, look at the roster you have. Not only that, SMG characters are just not good in general, right? And you can see they have a lot more support and taunters than they do damage dealers. For DPS, they only have D, Ipeno, Crow, and Solene, right? Literally, that's not a great roster for DPS, but you can make it work, right? Solene does good damages for HP's full. So who do you bring? They don't have a healer here, I don't think. They do not have a healer here. So what would you do? You would probably bring a taunter like Ludmilla or Makima, right? They have D who can do good damage. Ipeno could do decent damage against the mobs, and that's how it's supposed to go. Sniper, again, they're probably going to be good because they have, or not again, but they're going to be good because they have Red Hood and Alice together. They have Admi. It's just when it comes to that burst 1 option, you have the Mary, but she's limited. I don't know if everyone's going to have her. If you don't have her, then it's going to be a bit more difficult because you have to choose between Coco, Milk, Sakura, Exia, Freema, right? These are like, this is unique. I feel like if they add content based on either weapons or coding, it's actually gonna force the players to run different things, right? And that's where the challenge is gonna come in. Now, if the argument is not everybody's gonna have this, like these characters, that's a silly argument because it's a gotcha game at the end of the day. That's like me saying, oh, I don't have all the characters for the Pilgrim Tower or the current towers in the game because I haven't pulled those units, right? The argument applies. It's a gotcha game at the end of the day. So it's not something that, if you're a newer player, I wouldn't expect you to be exactly like wanting. I wouldn't want you to like be expecting this to happen for you. But if you're an older player, by now you have a lot of these characters, right? And it doesn't even have to be the good characters. Again, it's supposed to be a unique thing. So I don't know. This is what I feel like Nikke should add, and probably right now the only thing I think Nikke should add for actual new content, rather than adding another type of monthly raid that you just run your schoolgirls, you just run your bunny girls with Red Hood, litter, and then you're good to go. Right? I think this actually brings something new. I feel like this actually brings something different, but this is just my opinion. If you guys want to push this to shift up, by all means. I'm not really going to tell you guys to do that. I'm not going to force you or whatever. I'm not even expecting you to, but I definitely would like Nikke to do this personally. Right? Because again, for me, I do see it as new content. I find it a lot of people have these shitter characters and have no use for them. But now with something like this, you're guaranteed gonna have use for them because you're kind of forced to use them in a sense, right? So let me know what you guys think, and hold on. Thank you again for today's sponsor, Zxous. Like I said, link and everything will be in the comments in the description. Go ahead and check out their stuff. There's a legit funny content. I'm telling you, you're gonna love it, right? But yeah, thank you for that. Let me know what you guys think. It's your boy Zxous, and I'll see you guys in the next one. I'm out. Peace.